This is the final Drag Race off-season week for 2019, and the final week when I'll post 3 videos, though this week it's going to be 4 because of the first episode of Drag Race UK, so what better way to get excited about 17 seasons of Drag Race we'll get in the next 6 months than to look at what us fans found to be the 10 best episodes of Drag Race, on Wednesday the 10 worst episodes of Drag Race, and on Friday the 5 best and 5 worst episodes of All Stars. While going through these, I will try to figure out why the fans gave these episodes such high or such low scores on IMDb, give some of my thoughts on the said episodes, and then in the end we'll try to draw a conclusion as to what makes an episode of Drag Race good or bad. Also, I'm excluding all non-competitive episodes on Drag Race, so finales prior to season 9, casting specials, clip shows, and reunited episodes. Yeah, even the season 9 reunited, which is in the top 10 best rated episodes on IMDb, but it's not a competitive episode, and it comes only once per season, if that. This video is not going to have many visuals, so really you don't even have to watch the video, you just have to listen to it if you're interested in the topic. Without any further ado, let's get into this bitch. In the 10th place, we have RuPaul's Big Opening, Part 2. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say. So we're talking about the second episode of Season 6. If you may or may not know, or remember, Season 6 had 2 first episodes, kind of. The cast was divided into 2 groups, both groups had a design and create an outfit out of something challenge, and both groups had a winner and an eliminated queen. The part 2, which the fans that voted liked more, had Bianca Del Rio, Courtney Act, Darian Lake, Jocelyn Fox, Trinity K. Bonet, Milk, and Magnolia Crawford. Just by looking at these names here, this group of queens was more successful than the first one. Bianca, of course, won the season, while Courtney reached the top 3 with her. Sure, Darian and Jocelyn weren't the most stellar, but they both made it far into the competition and are memorable contestants. This episode, of course, benefits from being an episode where we meet the cast through a challenge, where we get to see who can do what and pick out possible favorites. With it also being a design challenge, all the work falls on the queen's shoulders, so we know that a queen can't be set up to win or fail just by the design of the challenge. Some of the more memorable moments of this episode are Courtney's iconic entrance into the workroom, Trinity K. Bonet not being able to pronounce quinceañera, Jocelyn thinking that the 1 and 5 numbers she got in her quinceañera box were there to be 51, and also thinking that they're house numbers. But also Courtney thirsting over Milk and vice versa. Here we also got Milk's bearded runway and Trinity K. Bonet's iconic runway look, which in hindsight should have been given a win over Bianca's dress, given that we'd see the exact same look from Bianca 54 times in the upcoming episodes. In the 9th place, we have season 4's episode Frenemies. I think we all know why this one is liked by the fans. Essentially, the top 6 from the season have to pair up and perform a song about how the 2 of them are so different, but also kind of similar, or something. I don't really remember the songs. With this, and based on how the queens were paired up, the story for the episode was that Sharon and Fifi cannot work together, and given that they're both great contenders for the crown, one of them will get eliminated. There's also a slight pinch of, Willam's not feeling really good today. But we kinda brushed this off as a B storyline where Willam will pull through and win the challenge. And she does. Latrice and her win the challenge. And yeah, Sharon and Fifi do end up lip-syncing against each other. But then we get kinda the first shocking jaws on the floor moment of Drag Race, with Willam getting disqualified. The storytelling of this episode is honestly Emmy-worthy. It's a great piece of reality competition television. If you watch The Untucked, this is kind of lost because Fifi kinda exposes Willam for breaking the rules, and then the whole "you should not be here," and of course Willam just being defeated throughout most of it gives us an idea that something might happen in regards to her, but it's not as subtle as it is in the actual episode, which is why it is so great. In the 8th place, we have the Oh My Gaga episode. I mean, do I even have to talk about why this is such a good episode? For one, we have Lady Gaga posing as a contestant. Then we have her dropping names on the judges panel left and right. We also have a competent judge finally on Drag Race. We get almost 30 looks, some of the more memorable ones being Nina's peach look, Sasha's hometown look, Valentina's hometown look, Alexis Michelle's stunning Gaga look, and Trinity's Gaga look. Please refrain from commenting, you forgot. I did not forget. I just did not include them. Also, the episode ended on a cliffhanger with us finding out a queen from a previous season was returning to the competition. Let's also not forget Pheromone's iconic non-reveal and Kimora Black's hello. In the 7th place, we have another season 9 episode, the makeover episode. This one's great for many reasons. Firstly, we got Sarge in the episode and the iconic wintergreen look. It's the 4th episode on this list where the queens had to use their creativity and skills only to present themselves to the judges. The episode is filled with great interactions between the queens and the crew and Ru, so it had to have been good. And it was. Another thing that helps the episode is the storyline between Nina and Shay, or rather the culmination of their storyline that started back in the Kardashians' The Rusical episode. With the two of them in the bottom 2, with Nina completely being defeated and with her not giving it her all in the lip sync, it isn't just a somber end to her time on Drag Race, but also the final straw that broke the camel's back regarding the lip syncs of this season. But more on that later. Shade The Rusical is ranked as the 6th best episode. If we exclude the god-awful mini-challenge, which Drag Race itself has excluded from most airings of the episode, we get almost a perfect episode. Firstly, the Maxi Challenge being a musical is great and kinda unique for Drag Race. They're testing the queens on their singing, on their musicality, on their stage presence, on their dancing and acting all at once. Maybe even some costume design too. This type of a challenge really shows us which queens are there to compete and push through their maybe faults to still do well, such as Gia Gunn, who throughout this episode was shown as like the worst human singer ever created, and with her stint on the show was always shown as putting the looks first, who ended up having one of the best performances in the challenge while playing a comedy queen alongside an actual comedy queen in Darien Lake. But of course, other than the great writing, the episode is also good because of the story between Adore and Courtney. The two of them being
insert country here
idol contestants, both being singing queens, both having very confusing singing styles, and both of them playing the role of Penny. It was an episode about them and who between the two would end up on the top. Trinity and April as the bottom 2 of this episode also got very clear stories of, yeah, they're not gonna do well. And they really did not. Though, honestly, they gave April the role of the big girl, so she was fucked by design, but never mind. And then we also got Trinity K. Bonet's amazing performance in the lip sync for her life to I'm Every Woman. Let's also give props to Ben de la Creme as a man with one eye. I'm pretty sure Bianca ad-libbed that. Season 4 Snatch Game gets the 5th spot here. A Snatch Game episode, almost as a rule, is going to be a good episode. This episode gave us some of the most memorable Snatch Game moments. What with anything Chad and Sharon did as Cher and Michelle Visage respectively, and then also the whole fuckery that happened with Jiggly, Kenya and Fifi. One of the main stories of this episode was centered on Latrice, or rather her feeling overwhelmed during Snatch Game and not being able to perform properly because of the 3 aforementioned queens, which also affected other contestants. To quote Latrice, "It was completely unprofessional, completely childish, and that is not what I came here to do." The B storyline centers on Kenya Michaels and how tough it is for her and for any other Drag Race girl whose first language isn't English, which is even more explored in the episodes Untucked. Another great moment we got was Willem's, "I was in Boston Public with you. I'm not acting," while clearly acting. If we ignore the clear nonsense of Kenya having it harder this episode, and Milan getting read by Michelle Visage, surprise surprise, for looking like a drag king, even though she was emulating Janelle Monáe, a human woman, we do get the best lip sync of season 4. I say the best because both of the queens performed great in it. The only other lip sync that could really replace it in the number 1 spot would be the Latrice versus Dita lip sync, but Kenya and Milan were lip syncing to Vogue, like come on. So it was a good episode with an amazing lip sync to finish it. The top 4 that just misses out on the top 3 is season 6's Drag Queens of Comedy episode. Again, an episode where all the work falls on the contestants' talents and skills. Who would have ever thought that would make a good episode? But really though, I think that this episode was voted so high here for Bianca's and Darian's amazing routines, for Laganja's and Dela's antics in the workroom, for Trinity K. Bonet's rise to the top, and of course for Laganja's absolutely iconic Shakespearean monologue during the Maxi Challenge. Lest we forget the lip sync too between Laganja and Jocelyn, and that amazing double split moment. I have a bone to pick with this episode though, and I did already in my The Favoritism of Ben de la Creme on Season 6 and All Stars 3 video, so check that out if you want to. The third spot belongs to the RuPaul Roast from Season 5. It follows the similar pattern of greatness as the previously mentioned episode. We had some great roasts in Alaska's, Jinx's, Detox's, and of course Coco's, for whom this episode was also a rise to the top after floundering a lot during the past couple of episodes. We also had fun workroom antics with Alyssa and her iconically bad performance, and again, much like the previous episode, it ended with a nice lip sync between Alyssa and Roxy's iconic wig reveal. Speaking of iconic wig reveals, the runner-up here is Season 9's grand finale. This episode brought something new to the show, and is the lip sync for the crown format of the finale. Now, this season absolutely was right to have this here. The lip syncs in Season 9 were abysmal. Most of them had one queen just not give it her all, or not give anything at all, and one lip sync completely did not matter due to Eureka's injury, so the new format's inclusion is very well reasoned. I still don't know why they did it for seasons 10 and 11 though. But this episode, just by its setup, makes the finale episode actually be interesting. As in, literally anyone could win. We also went into it knowing that Peppermint, Trinity, and Shay can all give us good to great performances in the lip sync, so Sasha Velour was the wild card. By the way, if you are still one of those people that are like, they only changed the finale because they didn't want to crown Shay and they wanted a white queen to win, please grow up. It's high time. So we got 3 lip syncs and each one of them was amazing. Sasha Velour's rose petals falling out of her wig reveal is hands down the most iconic Drag Race moment of all time. And it was that exact moment when Sasha Velour won the crown. The episode was filled with excitement and great moments all around, so it's no surprise why it's so high up. However, it's not as high up as the Season 6 Snatch Game episode. Come on, like, duh. We got 5 really good Snatch Games in this Maxi Challenge. Adore's Anna Nicole Smith, Dayla's Maggie Smith. Oh my god, wait, are Anna Nicole Smith and Maggie Smith related? And how do we start a rumor that they are? Bianca Del Rio's Judge Judy, Darian Lake's Paula Dean, and Jocelyn Fox's Teresa Giudice? Her, that one. This Snatch Game had so many iconic quotes and moments. Let's hear some of them, not see them because I'm not in the mood for a copyright strike.
Oh, I agree, and so does Officer Bird. That is correct, Judge Judy.
Not a match, Your Honor.
Baloney! I'm talking!
I think that's really rude.
Well, RuPaul, is it?
Yes, absolutely.
RuPaul. I understood virtually none of the words that left your lips moments ago, but I did hear the term Twitter, and I assume that it's some sort of a songbird. Am I to understand that one yanks one's telephone right out of the wall and carries it with him?
Yes.
Well, can you get people that speak normal English next time for the show?
Excuse me, we originated the language.
Oh, okay.
I'm sweating like 2 rats humping in a wool sock right now.
Oh, dear.
Oh, my.
All right, Kim Kardashian, San Francisco. So gay. Instead of horses, the mounted police ride.
Well, like I always say, you never put a tattoo on a Bentley, and I hope that I
Bentley.
felt it right.
You probably didn't.
Beauty fades! Dumb is forever!
Yes. Up next, we've got Teresa from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. What do they ride?
Prostitution horses.
Prostitution horses. Unfortunately, not a match.
Can I have a Pinot Grigio?
You didn't write down anything.
No.
Perhaps she needs another pot of ink to replenish her quill.
Well, I'm not really a drinker.
Right.
But I've tasted vodka a couple of times in my life. And I like it by itself. So I just put vodka.
All right, Teresa. It's flavored with blank.
Cumin.
Oh, you mean cumin?
Cumin.
Yeah, it's pronounced cumin.
Cumin. Well, I'm unfamiliar with the work of Lady Handler. However, I did think that it would be rather amusing if there were a libation flavored with citrus. Can you imagine such a thing?
That is really newfangled. I can't imagine such a thing.
See what I mean? And one last thing that I think made this episode memorable was Milk's runway look, where she came out as male RuPaul and got mostly criticized for it. So, what can we deduce from this? Well, the fans respond the best to the episodes where there is minimal or almost no meddling from the producers, writers, whatever. So episodes where the queens actually get to rely on their strengths and actually get to compete, while the situations they're put in give us organic storylines. Oh, what a shocker. Real stories in a reality show interwoven with the queens competing in a competition is what makes great television. This also shows us that the fans responded the best, I guess, to seasons 4, 5, and 6, which really is the golden age of Drag Race, and also season 9, which was the first season of the new era of Drag Race. Sadly, the other 2 seasons of the new era have not been so well received.